Yeah, the sheriff's office has been really good about tweeting out a lot of different information in Brunswick County. Here's some of what John was just talking about. Let me pull it up. There's a car stuck here.
Did they get out the car? Did they get out the car?
And you said that was
You want to turn that audio down probably, just in case.
I didn't see where it was.
Here's some more video from the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office.
All kinds of stuff pops up.
Yeah, really.
When the video stops.
Ben has a really interesting video of flooding on 17.
Yeah, I think we just put that one on, but
We're up. We're just finding different things.
Top stories for the top 11.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, we'll go over some of the curfews for you right now so we can get you up to speed with
here's
that,
that
if
video
you're
that
thinking
Ben
about
just sent in.
getting in and out. Is that what we already showed?
This is the newest stuff. Wow.
Is that an email too?
Yeah,
Okay, hang on. Let me get that one then.
it's his second. It's the one he sent in secondary. It's the second one he sent in, I think. I'm sorry, it came in at 10:50.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Highway 17, just south of Highway 211. The stoplight at Benton Road there. Is it not popping up for you?
It's popping up.
There
This
it
is Highway 17, just north of 211. Yesterday,
I
the
put it
water
up while I was
levels
trying to get the video.
were at the bottom of these sheds. As you can see, it is now up to the roof.
Do with it.
This is Highway 17, just north of 211. Yesterday, the water levels were at the bottom of these sheds. As you can see, it is now up to the roof. This highway has now become a flowing river,
Yeah,
as you
it's
can
not
see.
playing
It's
for
not
some
playing
reason.
right.
It's
I didn't
pretty
have
much
anything else to
impassable.
show.
Water.
Video one. Wonder why that won't play.
All right, we're trying to get some video from Ben Smart. It played for you.
Yeah, it plays on mine.
Did he tweet it?
No.
Okay.
He sent it in, and I guess I had to download it here, but my computer's a little bit different. Will it work that way?
This is
There-
Highway
well, it wants to
17,
play, but
just
then
north of
shuts off.
I
211.
lose it
Yesterday,
for
the
some
water
reason,
levels
unless I did
were
something
at the
wrong.
bottom of these sheds. As you can see, it is
Okay,
now
we're
up
gonna
to the
stop.
roof.
Yeah, maybe they can get it.
This highway has
It's not working. Sorry, folks. All right. You're gonna have to give me a second to get out of this. It's stuck. There we go. Okay, let me just show this real quick because we're getting some power outage information from the NC Emergency Management team here, and they're tweeting out just a second ago that state power outage now at 700,000. It was over 800,000 just a few minutes ago, or a couple hours ago, I guess I should say. And I do have the outage map that we have not checked in a while, so let's try to check that and see what we can find out here. Let me refresh it and see if it looks any better for. All right, Wilmington at 103. So they're struggling to get power back on in New Hanover County. It was down to 99,000 at one point, and now we're back up to 103. So the reds are upwards of over 20,000 people. Wow. So you see that here in Wilmington. Looks like in the Morehead City area. Also Lumberton area as well, and even as far west as the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area, folks without power. The yellow is between 1,000 and 20,000 folks without power. Now this is the Duke Energy map. I have the Brunswick map somewhere as well. I just have to find it. It's in here somewhere in my feeds, and here it is, I think. Let's see. I have so many tabs open right now.
I was going to say, I looked up there and it looked like a. Excuse me.
There we go. All right, so in Brunswick County, if you're with Brunswick Electric Membership Corporation, and remember, Brunswick's seen a lot of flooding right now. So they're in a bad way as far as that goes. They've got 70,000 out of service out of their 95,000 customers. So earlier they were reporting of 25% of their customers in service. They've bumped that up to 27%. So they're making some headway, but it's slow going in that area right now. And not surprising with all the flooding that we've seen. You just saw Ben at Highway 17, the sheriff's office showing some flooding around Highway 17, and we know the Shallotte River did breach last night, I think, right? I don't want to get that fact wrong. There's a difference between some of the terminology. But it did breach last night. So
the dam you're talking about in Boiling Spring Lakes, is that what you're just talking about?
Oh,
Or are you talking about the Shallotte River?
The Shallotte River.
Shallotte River went up and over, and we also had the dam at Boiling Spring Lakes. They released some of the pressure by letting that out, so that was last night too.
Okay. A lot of our information that we've been able to share with you is coming from the WECT Community Voice page here as well. So this is. You're
Alex
welcome
Garino
to try to join this.
just tweeted some pictures out. I don't know if you want to go to her. She just put some pictures out. Highway 17.
Okay, on Facebook?
No, on Twitter.
On Twitter.
Alex just posted 4 pictures. Same area, I think, as where Ben was, but it's several different pictures. I don't know if you can find her on Twitter or not. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, because now I've lost my Twitter page and I don't know where it went. Okay. Yes, I do have some of that information that I can share. So you're looking at the Cape Fear, hashtag Cape Fear Strong, the hashtag that we're using for our campaign right now with the American Red Cross. If you go to wect.com/strong, you will be able to donate money there for relief efforts for this storm. And John wanted me to look up Alex
she tweeted out the same pictures that Ben did. So, I mean, we've already shown a little bit of that video. So, but it's new pictures that Alex had tweeted out from that area around Highway 17 north of 211.
You've shown the sheriff's office, Brunswick County Sheriff's Office, and some video.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. 18-wheeler Ben's talking down. There's the.
And this is some of the video we showed earlier from the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office here.
Did they get out the car? Did they get out the car?
And that looks like a road that's pretty much washed away. If I can
We've
tell
got
that-
another one of
that's what
those
that
in.
is.
Chelsea Donovan just said she was tipped off on a sinkhole as well, so we're going to try to get that up and
Okay.
and
Colin
working
was in
around
the
as well.
Torchwood community a little bit earlier today, and there seems to be a huge flooding problem there as well. We're in the digital studio. We're going to reset here for just a couple of seconds and join you, so don't go away. All right, good morning. We are at 11 o'clock now as we continue coverage. I believe it's our third or fourth day talking about Florence, which was a hurricane at one point that made landfall on Friday morning. Now a tropical storm, and we're waiting for the last of her rain bands to head out of the area. But we're going to continue our coverage, and we want to touch base with you on some of the very top stories that we are following for you this morning. Within the past hour, we have learned that Cape Fear Public Utility Authority is critically low on fuel and may have to discontinue water If the utility cannot find more fuel within the next 48 hours, it will be forced to discontinue their service. The biggest issue here is the roads. They cannot get fuel into this area because roads are closed, shut down, and blocked due to flooding. Now, not only are roads closed in and around the area, we've seen them closed in Brunswick County, in different areas, but also Wilmington major roads are shut down. All major roads into Wilmington shut down. I-40 is closed in both directions near Warsaw, because of flooding. I-95 closed from 82 in Fayetteville to Nash County. Wow. 7476 shut down. You cannot get past Whiteville. Highway 17, we've been showing you some of that video from Ben Smart and Brunswick County Sheriff Office Facebook page as well. Highway 17 experiencing some flooding. Towns, cities, and counties all over the area are evacuating and rescuing people. Over 800 rescues already in Brunswick County and the town of Fair Bluff within the next hour, trying to evacuate folks in the Fair Bluff area. Curfews are also in place. Some of them have different timing. I'll tell you, Whiteville is under a 24-hour curfew right now, and then other municipalities and counties have different rules for some of their curfews, but we have all this information for you right now on your WECT news app. There's a lot of information that keeps coming into the newsroom, and we appreciate all your help as far as getting us updated and getting information out to folks in the community, as we just continue to have to relay bad news after bad news. It seems like, as far as the rain and the flooding and the situation.
The not so bad news, I'm not going to say good news, but the not so bad news is we're in a kind of a lull of the storm itself. Last time I looked outside, and Gannon can tell us how long this might last, but it wasn't raining in the immediate time frame when I looked outside. But the keys here are what Kim just said about the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority being at a critically low level on fuel. And from the CFPUA said, we are in critical need of fuel to keep our water treatment plants running. We are exploring every avenue to find a fuel source. If we don't get the needed fuel within 48 hours, we'll not be able to continue water service for public health and safety, like fire suppression and other things. Several other areas, we're getting pictures in on the WECT Community Voice page.
Right, John, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Dan House is starting his news conference out of the Wrightsville Beach Police Department.
See other people? I much prefer live streaming to video.
All right, good morning. Thank you all for coming. My name is Dan House. I am the Chief of Police here in Wrightsville Beach. And as we promised, we're going to keep the public updated about what's going on and what things we're doing to hopefully recover this storm. Our last report last night, we reported that there were 3 primary objectives that we were looking to do yesterday. One was to get our public safety facility back online. That way we can run all our operations, both fire, police, out of that. The second one was to restore our public safety building, our public works building to some extent, so they can operate out of that building. We got that partially done yesterday. But the big one was to try to restore water and sewer to the island. So that's the big one that we had to do. Public works we got the water partially back on, and we got some sewage flowing. But our primary pump that pumps it off the island has been sort of the issue. But what we have going so far just isn't enough to run for re-entry. So if we let everybody in, we're going to have issues. We spoke with Duke Energy. We're trying to get some kind of idea exactly when possibly they could get things restored. Some of the issue that they have is some of their equipment they were mobilizing is coming out of Raleigh, and 40 and 95 and some of those others are somewhat impassable. So, but they're trying to get people here. But the other part is the crews are here. Have been trying to get that done, to get that power restored, and they're really working as hard as they can to try to get that done. For us, for re-entry, to get all our pumps online is going to be dependent on that power. So we've got some generators, but we just don't have enough to get everything running the way we need to right at the moment. Some of the generators that we had received some storm damage, and we're not able to use them. So we're trying to scrounge to get what we can done. Last night, as I'm sure you've heard, there was substantial flooding, not so much here in Wrightsville Beach, but in Wilmington. A lot of those efforts, restoration efforts, had to be halted at least momentarily so they could take care of that and make those rescues and before they get back on cutting trees and some of the other things that they're doing. Not really sure how that's going to affect us or if it will, but we know it's a possibility, so we're keeping it in mind. It's right at the moment, we don't think it's likely that we're going to be able to start the re-entry process probably until at least Tuesday and possibly Wednesday. That's what we're trying to work for. Naturally, if we can get anything done prior to that, we will be doing it. One of the things that we are going to do today, many of you have been following us on Facebook. We've been trying to post videos to try to get general damage. Today we're actually going to go throughout the town. There's 10 different divisions in the town. We're going to go by division, street by street, to try to get some video so those people that don't live on the main roads can at least kind of have an idea of what the damage is or if there is any damage. Again, compared to what other places got, we've got very minimal damage. So, but we'll be doing that to know where the divisions are and what division your house is in. We're going to go ahead and post that map on Facebook, so you'll know what the divisions look like and you know where you can go or where you can go to see where your house is in that process. We're going to continue to keep the public informed. We're going to hold these press conferences at 11 and 4 o'clock. That way you'll be able to come down or log in or listen on your TV to see what we're doing. Also, we're going to keep our Facebook page updated with information, so keep looking at that. If you have comments or anything, you can send them in through Facebook. You can also call our public information hotline. It's our PIO phone. That's 910-524-0092. So any one of those, we should be able to give you an update on some level. With that said, I will entertain any questions you may have.
Last night's tornado type weather, did there was any specific effect with that, maybe flooding or anything that had come from that in the rains?
No, I really didn't see any more new flooding on the island. Everything has kind of stayed below the street level anyway, so there's no new flooding that I'm aware of.
Do you have to get lift station 1 operational before you can do any kind of re-entry?
Yeah, they worked on a bypass that can get it through, and that's why I say we got some partial sewer right now, but it's just not enough to handle bringing everybody back. But they're working to improvise, adapt, and overcome to try to make that happen.
Did Wrightsville Beach crews go out to Wilmington to help last night, or is that
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Chief, have you been in touch with FEMA? Is there a depot of ice or anything like that anywhere in the area?
Yeah, that I don't know, but that's something I can have for you for the next briefing. We did have some representatives from FEMA down here during the storm to do initial assessment on what the water would be, but I'll be on a hotline today probably with most of the chiefs to talk about what they're doing and see what plans that they have.
Thanks, Chief.
Are you gonna get
Wednesday is the earliest that you think you will
It could be Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, and believe me, we're working. If we can get in before then, absolutely, we would love to get in before then. Like I said, most of us haven't been to our homes yet. Mine is still out of power. We want to get home just as much as everybody else does. So we're working diligently to make that happen.
And there are a lot of people probably that left Wrightsville Beach to go and are now in Wayne County that could be watching this. What is your message to them?
Well, my wife's there, so many people are there. And again, I don't know the full conditions, but last I heard that I-40 was still hard to get down or not able to get down. Same thing with 95 and other roads. I don't know about 74. I heard 17 is out in some spots. So kind of all those arteries into to our area, the Wilmington area, are at least choked, if not completely blocked. So again, for those people that are out of town, just sit tight, and once we get everything restored, we will definitely put something out and let them know it's safe to come back home.
Have you put in a request for new equipment from the EOC?
We're working on it. We're trying to find decide exactly what power level of generators. So if we did need to get new generators to replace, if power looks like it's going to be long ways down the road, and we're just waiting for Public Works to get that information back to us so we can make that request.
How many transmission, not the lines that go from the transmission to the house, but the actual transmission lines are down? Do you know? I mean, I understand most of them are
We
house
counted,
lines.
I think it was 3 or 4 lines, and I won't say the transmission lines, they're just lines that we had down that we secured to the side. But we had very minimal power damage. I mean, as far as electrical lines and all that on the island. So, I mean, the big thing is waiting for, on the other side, Wilmington had a lot of damage. Once they can get those transmission lines up and running, we should have power.
So, oh, sorry.
Given the fact that the limitation is with sewer, would you consider some sort of limited access? Many people have left the area. There are those of us that are displaced, sleeping on floors in houses that are now in flood-prone areas. I mean, could you consider some sort of limited access to the island, 20 people a day or something like that?
The big thing is going to be as to when we can get the problem with letting anybody back on is, we know people are going to flush toilets, and that's what causes the problems. If they start flushing the toilets, or we have water on and they're using it, we can't push that sewage, it's going to come up in the street, and we're going to have a big problem. So that's our bigger concern. So while we would love to do that, and I'm not saying that won't happen at some point, if it looks like this is going to be a long term to get our power restored, we're obviously going to have to do something to mitigate that. And those are plans that are in the process right now. So I'm hoping, again, we're hoping to have something sooner than later to you, but I promise you it's not just we're not going to go on the island. We are working as hard as we can to get people.
We know you are. I just thought if there was limited flow, maybe that would allow it to operate.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. This morning, we only have like 10 or 15 people at the public safety facility, and they were having water pressure issues this morning with the little bit we have. So that's how big of an impact it will be.
Thank you.
It's been.
And I'm assuming that once you guys do allow people back on the island, it's only going to be residents.
Yes, initially it'll be residents. What we're planning on doing is letting residents and caretakers on first. Caretaker is somebody who has an agreement with somebody to look after the property, such as property management company, something along that line. So property owner, caretaker is allowed on first. At some point, if a property owner wants to have their contractor come in, we will have a process for that to happen shortly after that. And then at some point after that, we will let in just general contractors to come in and do what they need to do. And then shortly after that, it will be full entrance, so other people come on. But we want to give residents enough time to get in, assess the damage, know what they need, line up people to come in to address their particular properties, and then after that, we'll let general people in.
And what type of identification do you need to see?
To get back on the island, if you're a resident, we normally have they get a sticker, a hurricane sticker basically is what we call it, and that allows them re-entry back on the island. However, in light of some of the things that we have, not everybody got those, so if we can show valid ID and we can determine that they do belong here, we're going to, if they have ID, water bill, something to show that they have residency here, we will let them back on. And then also you get passes ahead of time. So anyone that had come down and got a pass for like the marina or something like that, we'll let those in as well.
Have you encountered people who have tried to return to the island by boat? And
not so far. I'm not saying nobody has gotten over here by boat, but I'm saying we haven't encountered it.
if you find someone who's done that, would they be arrested or anything like that?
Probably.
Really? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a caregiver for my husband's Parkinson's and dementia, so it's okay if they have a pass and to get back on quickly and everything.
I couldn't fully hear the question.
My husband has Parkinson's and dementia, and I need a caregiver for him.
Okay.
So getting them back on just with a pass,
Yeah, we'll
saying where
find a
they're
way.
from.
Yeah.
Of course.
Sir.
Once you get your sanitary system resolved, if there's still no power, you still get the residents back on?
More than likely. The problem is right now we're dependent on that power to get that on. Again, some of the generators that we had lined up to run those, some of them went out, so we can't use them. So that's part of the issue. So once we get the power in to be able to power them, that's going to help. Now we're working on plans consistently. Again, we're looking at getting other resources to get generators in if this looks like it's going to be a long-term power issue. Again, we will bring people in before there is power restored if we can get the water and sewer run. That's the big holdup right now.
So the well itself is functioning properly. it's just a matter of power.
I'm not a public works director, but as far as I know, everything's working fine. It's just a matter of getting it to run.
Because it was flooded.
Yes.
At first, and we had to clear that out.
Right.
And we had a coupling problem that you guys fixed, I guess. But now it's just a matter of power to the well
Power
to make sure it gets the sewage off the island.
Correct.
One last question.
Yes, ma'am.
For those of us with homes, is there any system in place for us even just to get an escort to the home for like maybe an hour to just make sure if there's a broken window we can fix it so the water doesn't continue to infiltrate the house?
Right at the moment, no. That's what we're trying to do, is trying to get, again, what we're going to do today is go by division so people can see what maybe their damage is. And I realize that doesn't mitigate the damage.
Right.
I get
Sometimes
that.
like a 5-minute cleanup can solve, thousands of dollars worth of damage.
The problem is we just don't have the resources to do that for everyone that's in the island. I mean, we just don't have the time.
Right.
We're really trying to get the recovery part done. So we just don't have the time or manpower to do that, because if we do it for you, we've got to do it for everybody.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Real quick, compared to Fran, the flooding of Fran, South Harbor Island, was this one as bad as Fran?
Nowhere near. We had flooding, but even in most places in Harbor Island, you could still see people's lawns. So it was, mostly in the roadway and not up in the grass. Now, far south during the height of the flooding, we weren't able to drive down there, so I'm pretty sure that there was higher than that, like maybe a foot or something. But you didn't see the substantial 2, 3, 4 foot full of flooding. That did not occur.
In general, how does this storm compare to other storms?
We were lucky. This storm, our neighbors to the north of us, they sustained or had a lot of damage, and to the south, and a lot of Wilmington did too. The eye came over us. I'm not a meteorologist, but the eye came over us almost perfectly, to where we just didn't get the winds and water surge that we were expected to get. So it kind of was ideal the way it happened for Wrightsville Beach. Again, other communities weren't as lucky. All right, we'll have our next press conference here at 4 o'clock. Again, if you have other questions in the meantime, you can call our PIO line. Again, that's 910-524-0092. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, and I will.
All right, Wrightsville Beach Police Chief Dan House with a news conference there that started about 11 o'clock, getting people up to speed with what they know, what they can pass along to residents and folks interested to find out what happened at Wrightsville Beach. So these are some of the bullet points I got out of that meeting. They're looking at possible re-entry, and I emphasize possible, not until Tuesday or Wednesday, and the main issues, power and sewage, some of those critical utilities that they need to have in working condition to allow folks to come back onto the island. They plan today to go through town. It sounds like they've split town up into like 10 divisions, and that they will be going into each division with their officers to take a look at everything, but he described the damage as minimal and seemed pretty, of course, I'm sure you would imagine, pretty happy about that. They will be holding news conferences at 11 and 4 every single day, and they are using Facebook as a way to get the information out. He said, keep checking Facebook if you want information. That's the best way that you can get information about Wrightsville Beach. And those are all the bullet points, John. I don't remember if you got anything out of there that you remember that I need to add. Or
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
The big question that most people are going to want to, you want to put my microphone up here?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thanks.
The big question that I think a lot of people are going to want to take away from this, the question that I'm getting, the question that people who have evacuated are asking is, when am I going to get back to Wrightsville Beach?
Right.
And the first thing he said was Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's your time frame that you're looking at. Mm-hmm. It will unlikely be before then, and depending on what happens, it could be after that. But that's what Chief House said at this point. It appears Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. So people need to not try to find a way around this, not try to get there by boat, not try to do everything. He talked about not seeing many breaches along the ocean.
Right.
Any of the water that came in yesterday, they talked about it being from the sound side. And overall, saying Wrightsville Beach did pretty well for this storm was one of the phrases he used. Now, there are some people talking about getting back on and helping to care for family members and such, and I know they'll do what they can. But the big question that people want to know is when they'll be able to get back on Wrightsville Beach, and it's Tuesday, seemingly at the earliest, and maybe Wednesday.